Hello all, it's Ruthie in my kitchen. As you probably saw on my vlog last week, I picked the last of our rhubarb, getting it ready for winter, and I'm going to try and make a cake today with it. And this is very experimental, so if this is nice, very nice, I will try and put it on my vlog, on my recipe section. But it had better be very nice because I'm a little bit time poor at the moment. I'm finishing off a book, a children's book, so I've just about finished all the illustrations for that, and that's set in autumn. So now, of course, I want to get on with my next book, which is set in spring, because I'm kind of over autumn foliage. I just want flowers now. So, oh, and I've also started learning Middle English. So that's the English between Anglo-Saxon and what we speak today. So that's keeping me quite busy. But I thought I'd just pop on here and have a little chat while I'm experimenting. Because I was reading in my Bible, and I was reading Psalm 46. And this is actually a really good reason to read the whole Bible. It's something I feel quite strongly on, and I've read the whole Bible several times, but it's a very big book, so sometimes you sort of miss things. And that Psalm 46, has this beautiful verse in it, which is, "Be still and know that I am God." And it's a very popular verse, and you quite often see it on fridge magnets, and you see it on religious calendars, and inevitably it's put in front of this beautiful, calm, still lake, like Lake Wanaka in New Zealand or something. Anyway, I was thinking the other day, I thought to myself, why would you need to remind yourself to be still and know that God is God if you're sitting next to an absolutely beautiful lake? So I went and reread the Psalm, which I will have read before, but sort of flew under my radar, that this is a psalm for when there are really scary things going on, and it's talking about when the earth is removed and, the sea is, I think it says something about things being chucked into the sea, and it's a very, I strongly recommend it. It's a very, very, it's a very emotive psalm. And it got me thinking that the main reason it says, "Be still and know that I am God," is not because you're sitting by some beautiful little lake. It's because you're probably looking at some great big storm. And I don't necessarily mean a physical storm. I mean, a storm like, problems happening. And that could be on a world level. It could be a war. Or it could be enmity within your family, because that can certainly be a very serious sort of storm. And I think that what that is saying in that psalm is, I think it's saying that if you have God front and center in your mind, that is going to calm you on the inside. And the other thing is, I don't think it necessarily means be still in the storm physically, because you might actually have to take some rather drastic actions. I think what it's saying is that if you remember that God is God and He's in charge, you can have calmness in here when you're surrounded by the storm. Anyway, that's kind of what I think it might be saying, but I'm not a Bible scholar. I just read my Bible a lot, and then I think about it a lot. So I'm combining ginger with rhubarb this time. I'm just putting a bit of salt in. I find that tends to make the flavours pop. I've not tried this combination before, but the great wise ones of the internet assure me it's going to be delicious. We'll see, because I have to switch out dairy for oil, and I also have to switch out my cane sugar for an alternative sweetener. I'm using honey today. I think it would also work with maple syrup. So we'll see how this goes, and if it's really yummy, I'll let you know. So I am a great believer, like if I had to pick one religious belief that I think it's so important. I think it's like practical belief. I think it would be read the Bible. And I think it would be read the Bible for yourself, because it's a religious book And this means that over the years, not so much now, but certainly in the past, it's been used as a great source of controlling people. And it's used as a source of controlling people best when people do not know what is in it. So it's almost like a preservation of freedom, really, to read the whole thing. So you actually know what's in it. Because if you just have a verse here and a verse there, it's like that verse, be still and know that I am God. It inevitably gets watered down to a really pretty little saying on the front of a pretty picture of a, calendar. But when you read the whole thing, you realise, I think from the context, it may be saying something a bit different. So I personally am a big proponent of reading the Bible for yourself. Because even good scholars and even good commentary, it's not quite the same as digging it out for yourself. I'm going to try putting some toasted almonds on top of this because, according to the great sages of the internet, again, almonds go really nice with rhubarb as well. So we'll see. I don't like crooked cakes. They really annoy me. Yes, so see how this goes. So, not that this reading of the Bible is without its own unique problems. I mean, everyone in my immediate family takes the Bible very seriously, but we're also quite, how should I say this? Quite stubborn about our right to decide what it's saying for ourselves, and this can lead to some very fiery exchanges. I remember this one time that my brother decided that we weren't reading the Bible enough. We were all still living at home at this point, and we just moved to Australia. So one Sunday afternoon, when my poor dad was having an afternoon nap, my brother rounded us up and he made us sit down at the table, and we all had our Bibles, and he got out his Bible, and I don't even remember the passage of scripture, but he read a passage of scripture, and then he said, what this means is this. And well, we weren't going to have that, and we were all getting quite fiery. We're like, well, what about this verse, and what about this verse, and how do you explain it with this? And we're all very stubborn. Anyway, the point is that poor old Dad came stomping down the stairs, because, we were screaming at this point. It wasn't our proudest moment. It is very unfortunate. So my dad came down the staircase like, what are you kids doing? What are you screaming about? And my brother said, Dad, we're studying the Bible. And I was like, Dad's like, well, do it quietly. And then he went upstairs, and I heard him tell Mum, he's like, oh, those kids of ours, they're a bit much at times, but, at least they care about it. So, and also, at the end of the day, it's really Mum and Dad's fault we're so fiery about this issue. I mean, they married each other, so I really don't know what they thought they were going to get except fire on the subject. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I think this is going to be quite nice. I hope so. Oh, and the other thing I would say, because the Bible is a pretty huge book, and if someone's thinking, I haven't read the whole Bible, maybe I should have, sometimes it helps to start with a book rather than the whole lot. And if you are of an anxious temperament, which I am, so I am speaking from personal experience, I think that the book of Psalms is probably a really, really good place to start, because it has a very heavy emphasis on when you are afraid, put your trust in God. And quite often I find that is exactly the medicine I need. So I will stick this in the oven, I will pull it out, I will cut it up, and we can pretend we're having a cup of tea together across the power of the internet, and I shall read you that psalm because, well, it always calms me down, and if you are of the artistic, anxious temperament, it may calm you down too. So I shall be back in a minute. Well, in TV land. It'll take a bit longer to cook than that.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice. The earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he has made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah.